Challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams, ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face Off on Fox Soul starts right now.
Violent sports out there is the voice.
Not a sport.
It is a violent.
It's a sport.
It is a violent sport. You lose your head, your neck, because you're fighting for your possessions, your children. Everything that you care about the most happens to go, you go head up with divorce. It's knuckle up season. So this is why I say, don't get married.
What?
The hell with it.
Stop.
Yeah, you get married.
Iman and Tiana was one of my favorite couples. If they ain't make it, ain't nobody gonna make it. You are doomed.
Now that's how I feel about Remy and Papoose.
Yeah, Remy and Papoose. Come on,
I don't
man.
know if I want to go get married now.
It ain't even. They don't work. That's the
true.
conversation.
It don't work.
It don't work no more. It don't work.
You want to be like Neo?
No, that don't work either.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want 4 people to worry about all day 4 birthdays, 4 Valentine's. That's too much. I ain't got enough sexual stamina for 4 women every night. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But what I'm saying is, marriage don't work no more, Kiki.
In this round, here's Quan LX.
Charles, we were watching a podcast where some young brothers and sisters were speaking about the state of marriage in America, and one young brother was stating that he felt that marriage is no longer worth it in this country because it's like almost a combat sport to be married today. And they use examples of entertainment figures and sports athletes to speak about them not having successful marriages. Charles, I would say this. Hollywood marriages rarely ever last long anyway, period. That's just the way it's been, because everybody sleeps with everybody in Hollywood. Athletes and entertainment figures don't make the best husbands or best wives. You see a lot of athletes have a better relationship to a football or a basketball than they have to their own wives and children. You see a lot of female athletes who are always on the road now, and they really can't be in the home to be the mother that those children need to be. Traditionally, fathers were athletes always on the road, not raising their children, and many male athletes will tell you the worst thing about being a professional athlete was that they were not at home there to raise their children. So I wouldn't use those examples as justification to say that marriage does not work, but I will say this. If you're a man, I'll take a man because I'm a man. If a woman was not raised by her father, that's a real red flag for you. As a man, it should be. If a woman spend more time in the club, at the parties and the hot spots than she spend in church or spend in the mosque, get the hell away from her. If a woman got multiple different baby daddies, take off running the other direction, brother, especially if she's a woman who have baby daddies that were failure and sorry men also themselves. There are some warning signs that men need to really look at before they decide to marry a female. Females should be very extremely careful in the men that they choose. I don't understand why any woman would be in a serious relationship with a man that don't have a job. He didn't have a job when you met him, and now you're in love with him, and y'all been together a year, 2 years, and he's still at home playing video games, and he ain't got a job. There's a female in my own family, college graduate, beautiful young woman, beautiful. The man she's been with for now several years ain't never had a job and sits at home every day and play video games. That is the state of the mindset of young people in this country, and marriage, unfortunately, in America is a dying institution, Charles.
Well, I think a marriage is a dying institution for a number of reasons, but I mean, I think social media and the internet has changed the way people interact. It has become isolating. I think the fact that it is so expensive to purchase or even lease a home nowadays has many people staying in their parents' home for a far extended period of time, even when they have a job, right? Because we're just not compensating people enough. But I do see marriage as the foundational building block of American society, and I think it's important, and I think it's an important institution to defend. And when I say defend it, I do not think defending it is precluding people from engaging in it. I think gay marriage wonderful thing. I think it's encouraged more marriages.
When did it become so wonderful?
I've always thought it was wonderful. I
You
know
did?
you're a homophobe.
That ain't what I
right?
said. No,
But
no,
hold
no,
on.
no.
I
Don't
think-
put no false label on me.
Well, we all
Because
know you're a
earlier in the
homophobe.
segment you said your Christian beliefs.
Okay.
So when did your Christian beliefs become popular with gay marriage?
Okay. Again, I am a longtime supporter for gay marriage.
You straight Nimrod.
I'm also a
You
long
straight
time
biblical Nimrod.
I'm also a longtime supporter of not imposing my religious beliefs on strangers. I know you don't get that. I also think that if you look at the New Testament, I think there is very little support in that book for the hatred that you commonly espouse. But let's stay
Not
on task.
hatred, Charles.
Let's stay on task.
You sat in that same chair and said God was homophobic according to the Bible.
No, I didn't.
You did.
No, I didn't.
I asked you, is God wrong on his positions on homosexuality and same-sex relations in the Bible?
No.
You said yes, he was.
No, I did not.
So
You've
wait
just
a minute.
made that up.
So you sit here today
Because I
and you say that
disagree.
when the Bible says,
disagree.
but when the Bible says
You
that no
literally-
man should be with another
Last
man
week you were advocating
in marriage or
last
relationships,
week
are
were-
you telling me that God wrong or is he right?
Okay. Last week you were
done watered it down. You don't
advocating-
want to tell the
No,
truth.
last week you were advocating for the imposition of Sharia law here in these United States.
For child
right?
molesters.
Okay. No.
And
for-
rapists.
Generally speaking.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay.
I said child molesters and rapists.
Okay, so you just want your God for a certain
Man,
you don't want
look
to
here.
impose it on everybody
For child
else?
molesters and
Right,
rapists,
because I've
yeah, let's
heard
have Sharia law.
Because I have heard you talk about the need to impose your religion on others, and I
didn't say
disagree
that.
with it.
I
Oh,
said those who claim the same faith I do.
Okay, okay. The reality is that we need to promote marriage, that there are economic things that are destroying marriages. The fact that people are way too accessible on social media is leading to ending marriages. But just like anything, at the end of the day, it is mostly men that aren't committing to their marriages, men that are abandoning their marriages, men that are not committing to women, men that are not raising their children. And you talk
But
about it from this
today's women
perspective.
are
as
not
if-
the same women for 20, 25, 30 years ago.
What do you mean?
Today's women got a whole new mindset,
What-
brother.
and what is
In
that
fact,
mindset?
You hear him saying stuff like things like this, like never before. I don't need no man. I'm an independent woman. I got my own money. I got my own education. I got my own house. I don't need no man. See, that kind of thinking, that's destroying marriage. You got women today saying this.
Well, right. Obviously, if there's a woman saying she doesn't,
There's a
want
lot
to-
of women saying it, Charles.
Okay, but there's a
Then
lot.
Charles,
there are far more men
Charles,
that aren't committing
but
to
also,
relationships.
Then there's another segment of women saying this. I want a man, he got to be at least 6 foot tall, maybe 6'1".
so you,
I want,
you
wait a minute,
can't
let me
get none
finish.
of those women, can you?
I want a man.
'Cause
I
what
want
are
a
you,
man
about 5'3"?
that's making at least 6 figures.
Okay.
Also, I want a man with no children, ain't never been divorced. So now she want a man at least 6 foot, a man that's at least making 6 figures, ain't got no children. Then she want a man that's not gay, and now she want a man. What?
Well, Quana, are you
But
just-
damn, Charles,
are you-
she don't want no man. You know what she want? She want an idea.
I got it
An
now. I got
idea
it.
that don't
I got
even
it.
exist in her own family
I got it
because
now.
she can't find that same idea to her
I
own
understand.
family, Charles.
You're bitter and mad because you ain't 6 foot tall.
Charles,
And
I'm
I
5'11",
understand.
brother.
Man, you 5'11".
I'm 5'11".
with inserts and
I'm
heels,
5'11".
baby.
And let me
Maybe
say this
some
to you.
3-inch
Let me say
cowboy
this to
boot
you.
heels.
If we wasn't on TV, I would unzip in this coat so you can really see what I'm made of. He ain't nowhere close to what I am. But when I tell you, brothers and sisters, I'm a well put together black man.
I mean,
don't
I
you?
think
If
we're-
I pull off
I
this
think we're
coat
hearing his
and let you
insecurities.
see these thighs,
I think
and let
we're-
you see this upper body, let me tell you
I think
something.
we're hearing your insecurities.
You would wish you were me, homie.
Are you
But
insecure?
Charles, marriage in America is dying, and I agree with you. Marriage is the very foundation of the success of a nation.
We should incentivize
But we've
it.
gotten away from it, Charles.
We should have more
Our young
tax
people don't even want
breaks
anymore.
for married couples. We should incentivize people with tax breaks for having children. We should do things to maintain the societal structure. We should encourage marriage. Right now, what you're sitting here is you're saying women, 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 women. But
Charles.
it's not women. It's almost
It's both,
exclusively
but
men.
a lot of men have walked away from the idea.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time!
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
Like it's a spiritual moment.
Chatting with Chelsea New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late-night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Something I won't wish on nobody. I think that domestic violence is like real. And I was young. You think that like, I won't say that you think that it's love, but it's like when you go through it the first time, you may think like, oh my God, he loved me, he put his hands on me. But it's like after a while, you just learn that it's like, that is not okay.
Right.
And you have to get that person help. You have to. And it's something that like you should never tolerate. Like the first time, you gotta leave.
What would you say with someone in a similar situation? You went through it at a very young age. So what would you tell a young woman that's going through a very similar situation?
Leave. Because I think that like oftentimes you feel like it's love. Like you think like, oh, this person loves me. That's not love. And I think that like you should leave.
Was it hard for you to leave?
It was. It was hard for me to leave because again, I was young. I felt like it was love, and it's just like I tolerated it. And then after a while, like the last time was the last time, I was like, you know what, I can't do this no more. Like it's.
Did he beg you to come back?
Yeah.
And you're like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I was like, nah. But I got him help though.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
He had to go to anger management classes, and he came back and was like, you know what, thank you for that. I needed that. Like I needed that help. Like if it wasn't for you doing what you did, like I wouldn't. You know, like it was able to help. It was able to help me grow.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
So, Quinn, I'm going to be honest. That was a clip from Shannon Sharp's podcast, Club Shay Shay. I did not know who Young Miami was until the producer, until Matt suggested this clip to spur a conversation about domestic violence. But this young woman perfectly stated the reality of so many women of all ages who accept physical abuse and often look at themselves as, you know, what did I do to deserve it? Or, you know, they even when they don't do that math, that they stay and they put up with it, right? And you can tell from her comments, it sounds like, because if he was forced to do anger management, as she said, her ex-boyfriend
got arrested.
He probably got arrested. And that was part of it, was probably a deferred agreement to get the case dismissed. Usually is predicated on a batterer's intervention course or an anger management course. And hopefully it helped him process and recognize that there ain't never a justified reason for beating up a woman, especially a woman that you're in a romantic relationship with. But it really, who needs to be listening to those clip from Young Miami is the women. And obviously there are men who are victimized by domestic violence, but one, I'm sorry, call me sexist, but it's different. It's different when a woman hits a man, period, right? But it is almost always men hitting women, and it is women that often quietly endure it for their entire lives, and it's disgusting. We do have some cultures on this planet where it is absolutely seen as okay for men to beat women, and it's disgusting. And, you know, I am very, you know what, I have nothing but applause for young Miami, because she basically was giving a lesson to her peers and all the listeners about how when a man beats a woman, she needs to leave. She doesn't need to look back. There's no fixing that guy. That's just a human stain.
You know, Charles, if you really look at any real numbers, any real studies, any man that was raised by a strong, active father in his life, you rarely see that man going around as a physical abuser of women. But it's mostly men who have not been raised by their fathers, and because those men come from a single female parent household, they have a lot of emotional responses, emotional ways of thinking and reacting. And so when there's a disagreement in that relationship with the female, they take an emotional position and put their hands on that woman. Any young man that was raised by a strong, productive father will know how to treat a woman, how to love a woman, how to protect a woman, and that no man under any circumstances puts his hands on a woman. But I would tell brothers all the time, and I've always told brothers this: if you got to beat her, you don't need a brother. And I tell women, ain't no love good if it ain't good to you. But I have met women in my lifetime, Charles, that really believe if a man put his hands on her, then it's because he loves her and she must have did something to make him do it. But I've also seen women, Charles, that have been in bad physical abusive relationships with men, get in a relationship with a good man who don't believe in putting his hands on women, and when they have an argument, she'll physically attack that man, the one that won't put his hands on her, because she reverberates back to that level of abuse and trauma that she's known, and she winds up becoming the abuser in a new relationship with a young man or older man, a man, period. But I've been a survivor of physical domestic violence, Charles. I've been physically assaulted by a female before. And the trauma that you go through because you don't understand what it is you did or what are you doing wrong. We were in the bed, Charles, and, you know, we were being intimate. And that woman grabbed me in my throat like this. And that woman said, harder, harder. And I said, I'm trying to smack, harder, harder. Charles, I didn't know what to do. I was doing my very best, and I was doing my best to try to win a gold medal in the process. But that woman grabbed me and smacked me across my head because I was insufficient. Charles, I was the victim of physical violence also, Charles. And I just want you to know that it's a traumatic experience.
Yeah, no, I can tell you're trying to make a joke, but I do applaud you.
What joke?
I do applaud you.
Did I say it was a joke?
Acknowledging
Did I say it was
to
a
our
joke?
audience that you're insufficient. I didn't expect you to come out with your insufficiency.
I'm not insufficient.
That's what you said. Your words.
No.
Your words.
I was involved with a woman that had a long body count.
What do they call it? She
had a body count from here to Georgia.
And what was
I supposed to do, Charles?
You don't want a short.
She had a body count from here to Georgia, Charles.
You don't
what
want
was I supposed to do, Charles?
Man. Okay, let's get back to the
I did not know I should have tied a board to my back instead of falling in. Charles, I was a victim of abuse.
Before you reduce
you
this
gonna
to
victim
jokes.
shame.
Hold on.
You're sitting here in victim shame.
I'm sorry you're a short man.
You evil.
And let's get back to the serious topic. So when you said that usually it's the absence of a father that leads to that, that's not true. I mean, you make up stuff, you do a good job at it, but typically when men grow up to be violent with their partners, excuse me, it's because they witnessed it in the home, whether it was their biological father or another man.
Get some water because you're choking when you start lying, but go ahead on.
Okay.
You're going to pass out over there.
The truth is that usually when men grow up to be violent towards their partner, it is because they witnessed their father or another man in the home be violent towards their mother, right? That's the truth. And another number that people don't want to talk about, the one variable that increases the risk of physical violence in the home, both directed at the children and the mother, and sexual predator or sexual violence directed at the children, is the presence of a stepfather or a boyfriend that cohabitates in the home. And because they obviously view the children as different, and some despise the children. And it goes back to, we were talking about families and the breakdown of marriages in this country. You know, really, this country would be a better place if our government did more to incentivize families staying together instead of
to
incentivizing, instead of telling
celebrate
women
and reward traditional marriage.
You got to kick the man out of the home so you can get the food stamps. You got to kick the man out of the home to get the benefits, right? In fact, we should do more for couples to stay together, and we should do more for people that are raising their children in a two-parent household than we do for anyone else.
As an ex-police officer, let me ask you a question. How many times did you ever go to a domestic violence scene and she called the police because he was beating on her, but the minute you pull out the handcuffs, you become the enemy?
Oh, let me tell you something. Okay, on night shift in Houston in the 90s, in South Houston, you would do domestic calls from 9:45 when you came to work till midnight, and then it'd start to be drunk car accidents after that. I literally saw an officer, Eddie Martin, I saw he handcuffed the husband who was beating the woman. I remember the apartment. This happened in like 1996. I remember the 801 South Allen Genoa. I can tell you the address of the apartment complex. I can tell you. This woman picked up a broomstick, and while Officer Martin is handcuffing the husband that just beat her up, she called the police for us to come out here, right? She picks up a broomstick and starts beating Officer Martin. I had to take the broomstick away from her and put the handcuffs on her. I have seen so many, and see, they changed the law while I was a policeman. Used to be, if the victim said, no, I don't want him to go to jail,
Right.
you couldn't even put him in jail. Or if she went down to the station and said, I want to drop charges, you had to drop charges. And in the 90s, while I was an officer, they shifted it to make the state the complainant, to take away from women the ability to drop the charge. So, I mean, look, it's very commonplace.
I've had a number of women, literally 4 or 5 a month, that have called my office. The man is currently in jail for beating the hell out of them.
And she wants the charges dropped.
And they want me to help them do everything under the sun to get those charges dropped. But yet they admit he was beating the hell out of them, Charles. Well, this is a sick mindset that's been produced in this country, man.
But really, what's the solution, right? I mean, we need to be more aggressive with the impermissibility of physical violence in the home, right? Directed between the man and the woman, right? But we also need to do so much more. And we always, oh, it's socialist, oh, it's this. You know, the right is always against it. But it should be something that the Republicans and the GOP celebrate. Any sort of directed benefit to encourage people to get married, to have children, to raise their children, that would be a far better expenditure of money, right, than right now our welfare system encourages women to kick the father out, encourages women to stay single,
but what about,
all because they can get more
But what about
checks.
a number of men who are the victims of domestic violence and have to suffer in silence because they believe nobody's going to believe them?
I'm going to be
because
honest,
they believe nobody's going to believe them.
That typically there are some incredibly violent women, but it's
and a lot of men are afraid to tell it because it's not masculine, it's seen as feminine, and then they believe that law enforcement, the courts won't even believe them.
And oftentimes you do have that situation, but the truth is it's typically the men that are violent, and we can pretend it's not different. But if my wife were to slap me, it'd be probably because I deserved it. And I don't see it as domestic violence, right? There's a huge difference. We can pretend gender don't matter, but it does. And it's very different when a woman hits a man than when a man hits a woman.
She you several times before.
I probably deserved it.
I can tell the way you just said it.
And I probably
she
deserve
whoops the hell out
every moment of it because I got a crazy mouth.
See, you got a mental health problem. I got to help you, brother.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up.
You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and the Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
That's it for the Face Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Well, on Fox Face Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up.
You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie nailed it. We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and the Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick during the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Hey, besties.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
Like it's a spiritual moment.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
It's time for today's face-off on Fox Soul. Challengers Quan LX and Big Angry Adams ready to go blow by blow on those hot topics. Face-off on Fox Soul starts right now.
Tonight, closer to home, an assistant principal is facing charges accused of forcing a student to massage her feet. And that's not all. Polk County deputies tell us it happened at Lake Marion Creek Middle School in Poinciana. She was arrested because a number of witnesses came forward. Fox 13's Evan Moon spent the day in Poinciana today. Covering the story, has the very latest for us tonight on the case.
This assistant principal is accused of an inappropriate massage and making sexual comments to a 13-year-old boy, including about learning foreplay. The Polk County Sheriff calling this outrageous and evil behavior. A 13-year-old boy was just being a kid, throwing balled-up paper across a classroom at Lake Marion Middle School. His actions sent him to Assistant Principal Kiva Lark's office, but that's when the real trouble began.
She had a 13-year-old child that was at her school rub her feet. Did you hear what I said? That's right. This was a sexual encounter.
53-year-old Lark allegedly punishing the young boy by making him rub her bare feet in his lap. Then
in this round, here's Quan LX.
Charles, you know, you just can't make this up, man. Life is stranger than fiction now. Here's Dr. Kiva Lark, an assistant principal, one of the top administrators at the school. A young boy accused of throwing paper in class, 13 years old. The method she chose to discipline him after being sent to the office was not putting a young man in a classroom for bad behaving young men, not stripping him of privileges, not suspending him, but she told him to rub her funky feet. So Dr. Funky Feet Lark took off her shoes, put it in the young boy's lap, and told the young boy to rub her feet, and then made sexual words, connotations toward the young man, and called him sexual hot chocolate. And then she got upset and told the young man, you wasn't doing the job good enough. This is a assistant principal. Then had the nerve to tell the young boy that you need to learn how to rub feet correctly. That was the method of punishment that Dr. Funky Feet Lark chose to use as punishment for this young man for throwing paper in class. And I looked at a mugshot. Dr. Funky Feet Lark, you're not eye candy, baby. So I understand why she would take advantage of some child to rub them old callus-ridden feet, them damn bunions and coins, because she couldn't probably find a real man her age to do it. And old as you are, them damn feet probably was so ashy, you probably like been dancing in flour. But she should go to jail. She should be punished. And Dr. Funky Feet should never be allowed to be an administrator in any school or in a classroom ever again.
Well, I mean, initially, Kiki Lark, I think is what she goes by. I do think you're correct that she should be prevented from ever being in an administrative or teaching position in any public school again. She's 53 years old. I believe you're 53 years old. You might be 54. I forget how much older you are than me. But I don't think.
Look how good I look.
I don't think you have.
You look like a grandpa. You look like a damn man that's in a retirement home.
I don't think you can assume.
I look like I'm ready for Fortune 500 magazine.
Hey man, if that's what looking like a chicken nugget means, I don't think you can say she has ashy, disgusting, bunion-ridden feet. We don't know. And the real question, like that Polk County Sheriff.
Why you think he didn't rub them well?
The Polk County Sheriff.
So damn ugly. That's why he didn't do a good job.
The Polk County Sheriff. He loves him some media. He loves him some attention. He loves the news camera. He's always in front of him. He spends a lot of time. He's in Twitter clips of saying radical things. But at the end of the day, it does sound like they have special laws about inappropriate relationships, and she made some inappropriate comments. But it's being characterized as a sex assault, which is typically when one person touches the genitalia of another person with their genitalia or their hands or something.
Yeah, I don't think she raped the young man.
Well, but that's what it's being characterized, I think, unfairly for media attention and play by the Polk County Sheriff, and I don't think it was, right? I don't think it's something she should be looking at going to prison for. I think it's something she should be fired for. She should have her license pulled. It's gross, but here's a real question.
But it sounds like she was grooming that young man for even more.
But grooming is an epidemic, but also sex assault and sexual inappropriateness with students at the high school, junior high.
So you don't think she wanted to have sex with him?
I don't have any idea.
Rubbing her feet
but hold on.
and making sexual connotations, calling him sexual chocolate.
What we're seeing,
that old broad wanted to have some.
What we're seeing over and over again, though, is very attractive younger teachers.
Yeah, them white women.
Having sex with high school and middle school students.
Yeah, a lot of white teachers too.
And it seems that you have a very different perception of events when it's some hot young thing of whatever race. It seems like you think it's amusing.
What do you mean?
It seems like you're okay with it.
No, that's not true. Look, let me say this. If Dr. Funky Feet had looked like Beyonce.
Right, there you go.
If Dr. Funky Feet Lork had looked like Rihanna, now I'd have had to sit down and talk to my son. I'd have had to ask my son. Now you tell Daddy everything that happened, son. Don't hold nothing back. Don't keep no details to yourself. As a father, I need to investigate everything that took place. And where did you rub? Did she say rub anywhere else? Because I have to find these things out. How long were you in there, son? Oh, my God. I mean, but Dr. Funky Feet, that woman should be locked up for being so damn ugly, forcing that boy to rub them feet, because if her feet look like her face, oh, hell no.
Well, that's my question. So we agree that it's always a bad thing when men, male teachers, male administrators are sexually inappropriate with students.
Hell yeah, it is. It's wrong as hell.
And it's always
nothing but predators going after young girls.
When unattractive and older women, teachers and administrators do it to students.
Exactly. Them teachers who look like they've been whooped with an ugly stick. I agree.
It's okay you refer to white teachers or teachers that look like Beyonce.
Because it's mainly white girls that's getting caught up in like this teacher's doing this. So when it's a beautiful
young white girl doing it, you don't have a problem with it?
That's for the white boys' daddy to understand. But if it looked like Beyonce, if they look like Rihanna.
But what if it did?
Look like Jennifer Lopez.
Looks like Cindy Crawford. Or,
Cindy who?
Okay, I'm old.
She old as hell. Cindy Crawford.
What is wrong with you? A beautiful woman. Jennifer Jason Leigh. I know that's an old actress too. I don't know.
Now let's quit faking. There's not a man out here that when you was 13 years old, if your teacher looked like a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader, if your teacher looked like a runway model and she said, rub my feet, we gonna get to rubbing real quick and rub somewhere else if she allow us to also. Let's quit faking. Now you gonna sit in this chair and you gonna tell me if a woman that's your teacher at 13 look as good as Beyonce, Rihanna, Jennifer Lopez, huh? And she said, rub my feet, Charles. What you gonna do?
I'm thinking of my teachers like Mrs. Gilbert. Miss Gilbert looked like you, all right, with a wig on. All right, I don't remember. Like, they do show these beautiful young teachers now.
You see
right?
them?
You see them. Very attractive women. And
they be married.
And I didn't have any teachers like that.
Me neither.
I mean, all of my teachers look like men, whether they are women or men. But more importantly, hold on. A crime is a crime.
It sure is.
I don't care if it's an attractive woman or an unattractive woman or a man. It's still a crime, and there still should be consequences in prison. Well, it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like you want to give, if it's Beyonce, if it's a Beyonce clone.
What I'm saying is, as a father, if she looked that good, well, then perhaps we can have some consultation where we can discuss the possibility of dropping charges. Because just because you are charged don't mean the charges cannot be dropped. I will sign an NDA.
That's absolutely disgusting.
What is?
It's not funny.
I mean, I'm not going to discuss what the agreement is.
Let's just stop having teachers and everyone else rape
I agree
kids.
with you. Leave them young boys alone, you hot, super fine teachers. Leave them young boys alone, you ugly ones, boy. Y'all lock them up quick.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, besties.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first-round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Mind your damn business, woman. I raise my damn child the way I want to. Shut up! Shut up! Did I say shut up? You ain't getting no damn car. Shut up! What I said, shut your up! Shut up! You're not getting no damn car. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! I said shut up! You ain't getting no damn car. Stop partying on yourself. I said shut up! Go to the party at school. How about that? You better shut it up. You got a problem? Well, mind your damn business, woman. You have to mind your damn business. Mind your damn business. How about that? Mind your damn business, lady. Mind your damn business, lady. I raise my damn child the way I want to. Well, mind your damn business.
In this round, here's Charles Big Angry Adams.
So later on, this man that was abusing his child was actually arrested because of the intervention of bystanders. But there was obviously the crowd that was referring to her as a Karen for inserting herself into that parenting. The child sounded like a toddler. It sounded like it was a dispute over using the restroom. Obviously, being aggressive in that scenario never helps the situation. And it sounded like he was beating this child. I think that we are very quick to call, especially older white women, Karen for inserting themselves in situations. I think this woman was incredibly brave, far braver than the person across the way that was just filming. And that has become the norm in America, where something horrible is going on. And instead of interceding and seeking to help or save a life, people just get out their camera and film it. And I will say I have nothing but the utmost respect for this woman. Society needs to intervene when this kind of stuff occurs, but more importantly, we need more proactive measures by institutions like Child Protective Services and law enforcement, because ultimately our most precious commodity is children, and we don't have enough fathers participating in raising their children. But this obviously is worse than an absent father.
Charles, I wouldn't say that, because based on what I saw, and I tried my best to listen closely to the screams of the child to try to determine maybe the age of the child. And I would say this, he did go a little bit too far, but it sounded like to me he was upset and angry perhaps about something else. Maybe he was having a bad day or something had him agitated already, because to watch his interaction with that child, I think it had a little bit more to do with not just the child screaming and crying for something that the father didn't want to give it, but he was going through something else. And I think that many young fathers, perhaps like this man, loves his son. He's probably a good dad, but he may not even been raised by a man himself that taught him how to deal and discipline a young child correctly when that need arises. I would hope he gets parenting classes, but I don't think his child should be stripped from him. I don't think his parental rights should be stripped from him. I think parenting classes, and maybe in that way he can learn better conflict resolution and discipline methods with his child. But I remember when I was young, my grandmother always told me, when we go to the store, don't you ask me for nothing. And if you clown me in public, I'm gonna whoop you in public. So many old school parents didn't play that when children get to the stores and start throwing temper tantrums because they want something that the parent don't want to buy, cannot afford to buy. I don't think he's a bad dad, but I think he allowed his emotions to overtake him at that moment, and that he went a little bit too far. But I believe, based on what I saw, he's probably a good father, but just took it a little bit too far.
I absolutely couldn't disagree more. I think if you listen to it, the child was asking to go back into the store to use the restroom, and that the father, if you can see by the way the father's standing, the child is clearly in a car seat, which means it's a toddler, it's 4 or under. The child sounds like a toddler.
I heard him asking for some kind of toy, and he said, "You're not going to get a cart. You're not going to get a car or something like that." So I don't think it was the restroom. I think it has something to do more with the child wanting some type of toy from the store.
Honestly, I don't care what the motivation is. It's a toddler, and he is clearly beating him. He's being abusive. He's being a criminal, and he needs.
I think he went too far. I agree.
He needs to have his access to that child supervised. He needs the government involved. He needs the mother. Hopefully, she's probably a victim of domestic violence too, because he seems like an angry.
Now you're stretching it, brother.
He seems like an angry, monstrous person.
He's not a monster.
And he's absolutely
what
a monster.
I just saw was not a monster. That young brother was not a monster. He seemed like a father that was extremely agitated, and looks like he probably had some other stuff on his mind that he was dealing with. But I did not see a monster. I saw a young brother who made a decision to go a little bit too far in disciplining his child. I didn't like the language that he was using, but I can understand and appreciate some firm language sometimes when you're dealing with little boys in particular. But I do not believe he's a monster. I don't believe he's a bad dad. I don't believe that he should have his parental rights stripped away from him. I believe that brother can be taught and corrected, that young man who made that mistake. He's not a monster, though.
I'm not saying he can't be taught and corrected, but I saw something completely different, and I was an incredible hard case of the father. I would fuss at my kids if I didn't think they were trying hard enough at school. I'd fuss at them if I didn't think they were trying hard enough at sports. I was always on their butts, always. I was an incredibly unpleasant father, probably because I had parents that I don't think paid any attention to me, and I could have turned out better.
We all make mistakes as fathers.
Yes, but this was physical abuse to a toddler. And if you're going to beat, and I don't think he was just using bad language, I think he was beating him. I think it's very clear from the video and the woman's reaction that he was beating that child. And if you're going to beat a toddler, you'll beat just about anyone. There's no one more defenseless than a 2-3-year-old child. Other than
I completely
infant.
agree, but I didn't see a monster.
It was evil behavior.
I didn't see. I didn't
see
evil behavior. I did not see a monster. What I saw was a young brother who allowed his emotions to get the best of him, and he took it just a little bit too far. But I believe that that's a corrective measure that could be taken to correct him as a father, make him a better father.
Clearly, it needs some corrective, but I think it needs a real consequence.
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
They wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up.
You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face-Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul. In today's Face-Off Up.
Things happened over the weekend. So this guy is in custody, facing murder charges and all sorts of other charges after trying to set fire. Well, he didn't try to set fire. After he set fire to Governor Josh Shapiro's mansion up in Harrisburg.
So Greg is outside of the mansion now with the details.
Yeah, Alex and Mike, we've learned quite a bit of more information in regards to this situation based on court documents. And what they had mentioned is the fact that where Balmer had entered, allegedly based on the court documents, was right here along Geiger Street on the south side of where the mansion is located. Now, Governor Josh Shapiro, he held a press conference yesterday and he was mentioning how him, his family, and some guests were woken up Sunday at around 2 in the morning by bangs on the governor's mansion door from Pennsylvania State Police, alerting them to evacuate. Now, luckily, everyone made it out safe, but these pictures show the heavy damage inside the mansion. Now, authorities have arrested 38-year-old Cody Balmer of Harrisburg, who they believe purposely set fire to the home. Now, according to court documents, Balmer hopped over the fence and approached the south side of the mansion on Geiger Street, where he used a hammer to break the windows to gain access inside, placing homemade incendiary devices into the home, causing the fire. Now, as for a motive, court records say Balmer had hatred for Governor Shapiro and walked 1 hour from his residence to the governor's home with the intention of throwing Molotov cocktails into the home, and even mentioned he was aware of the possibility Shapiro would be in the home at the time, and if he was confronted by the governor, he would have beaten him with the hammer. Now, Balmer is set to face a number of charges, including attempted murder, terrorism, and arson. Now, there is still a lot of questions in regards to this investigation, but one thing we do know based on that press conference is that security and police are looking into different protocols to make sure that things like this do not happen ever again. Mike and Alex?
You know, this is Quanell. Obviously, Cody Balmer's our face-off F-up. This is another example of horrifying violence in the state of Pennsylvania, where we saw an attempt by a radical far leftist to kill Donald Trump last year. Initially, social media was trying to blame this on conservative men. This is in a man in a mixed race, a father in a mixed race marriage who had financial difficulties, who considers himself a socialist, attended apparently dozens of Kamala Harris rallies. Obviously, Josh Shapiro is the Democrat governor of Pennsylvania. But this is what our radicalized politics has led to.
He was white, man,
I can't really tell, right?
Cody.
His wife is African American. He appears to either be mixed race or Caucasian. He looks light skinned.
White boy.
But this is an extremist. He's in late 30s.
Cody.
What now?
Cody.
Cody, yeah. Well, his actual name is Colonel Chris Balmer.
Colonel?
Yeah.
What black brother named Colonel?
Well, you're probably right. I mean, we talked about a guy named Quadarius
and he walked an hour from his house.
No, it does seem
with incendiary devices,
with bombs,
hops the gate at the governor's mansion,
and sets it on fire.
Ain't no Negro in America gonna walk an hour from his house with incendiary devices, hop the gate at the governor's mansion, and set it on fire and not be shot dead walking up.
This is when we continue to qualify and rationalize radical violence as protest in American politics. And we heard all the people that were trying to rationalize the attempted assassinations of our current president, at the time candidate Donald Trump, right? And it's people we speak about violence as if it doesn't have real consequences. This man went there with the desire to kill Josh Shapiro, Governor Shapiro, and his family, right? And it turns out
he probably was hanging out with the same crazy white guy that went to Nancy Pelosi's house, right?
Okay, I don't know, but we've got to start
and beat her husband with a hammer.
We've got to start having real conversations about how politics don't need to be defined by the people screeching and
But what is it about these white assailants that go to political homes with hammers? They beat Nancy Pelosi with a hammer. This fool went with a hammer himself.
You're right.
What's up with the hammer?
We have a lot of people in the political spectrum that are radicalized. I think there's more on the left than the right, but I think both parties
these thugs are out of control.
Are tolerating this, and we have to start being intolerant.
These hoodlums are out of control.
Okay, the terrorists. I think they're terrorists.
Oh, terrorists are out of control.
But we need to return to real consequences for all criminals.
Treat them like you treat black suspects.
Oh, come on.
They would have shot that brother walking down the street with some Molly cocktails in his hand an hour to the governor's mansion.
That's it for the Face Off on Fox Soul. We'll catch you next time.
Hey, besties!
What is a bestie?
I like you.
She's fun.
It's about to be a good time.
She's always looking out for you.
Since you're my bestie, I will handle it for you.
She makes you think.
Here to uplift and empower.
She's always encouraging.
You are that girl.
Chelsea Edwards, your bestie in daytime.
I get the spiritual moments.
Chatting with Chelsea. New episodes weekdays at 5:30 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfies. Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on, man, let's split a ride home.
As we work to get through these times together, you may not be thinking about blood donation, but blood is needed to save the lives of people who are sick with a range of illnesses. It's easy and safe to give. If you are in good health, please donate. We need heroes now. Visit redcrossblood.org to schedule an appointment.
I'm Isaiah Carey, here to shake things up with the stories that hit hard and matter most. Here on The Factor, we cover news with grit and authenticity. We challenge the status quo and get down to real talk and bold discussions. Join us as we amplify the voices that disrupt, inspire, and lead the charge for change. Your story is power, and we're here to unleash it.
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored. New episodes weeknights at 10 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
Hey, it's your girl, Carolina Sanchez, and The Nightcap is the late night show where no topic is off limits. Join me as we dive into the wild world of relationships, sex, and everything in between. From hilarious dating disasters to steamy secrets, you know we've got it all. We've got celebrity guests, expert advice, and a cocktail in hand. The Nightcap is your guilty pleasure. So grab your drink and tune in because the best stories start after dark.
The Nightcap. New episodes weeknights at 11 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I was a quarterback at Hardaway High School. College first round draft pick. During the football season, I would stop eating. But I didn't know I was depressed. We didn't have any education behind what mental health was. I started to learn it starts here first. If this is together, I'll be better as a father and as a husband. We have to redefine what being a strong man is and heal, love your mind.
Well, on Fox Face-Off, we tell the raw, unadulterated truth.
Fox Soul Face-Off.
We are given the platform here with no fear.
Always comes out swinging.
We should be saying, hey, stop shooting and killing people.
Nothing held back.
they wanted black hip-hop moguls and artists to continue the feud.
No punches pulled.
And shut the hell up.
You interrupt me all the time.
Tune into the show where opinions collide. Fox Soul Face Off. New episodes weeknights at 9 or stream anytime on Fox Soul.
I wonder if you know that I want the best for you. But how long will you fight solo? I wonder if you know that we can get help. Not wondering anymore. Love, your mind.
Tonight on The Factor Uncensored, an embarrassing tantrum caught on camera. Does it point to a bigger entitlement issue some Americans have? Plus a debate on distractions in the classroom. How much does a teacher's clothing take away from students' attention, especially if that teacher is on the curvy side?
The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
Welcome and thank you for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored tonight. Do Americans have an entitlement problem? A video of a person behaving like a spoiled brat, out of control American in a Bali clinic brings that question to light tonight. Take a look.
Hey!